High up in the trans-Himalayan region of Ladakh, the terrain is unforgiving. To survive in these isolated, high-altitude deserts, you have to possess a deep, highly adapted knowledge of the local environment. This chart shows the government board exam results for Ladakhi students in the 1980s. You can see a staggering anomaly in the data. Roughly 95% of these students were failing. To understand why, we have to look at the early life of Sonam Wangchuk. He grew up in a remote village with no formal schools and was eventually sent away to the city of Srinagar for his education. In Srinagar, classes were taught in English, Hindi, and Urdu, languages Wangchuk didn't speak fluently at the time. The curriculum had zero connection to Ladakhi life. He was mocked by his peers as a dumb boy from Ladakh simply because he couldn't process instruction delivered in a completely alien context. This friction between the local environment and an imported curriculum meant that even the brightest students were being measured by a yardstick that ignored their reality. The high failure rate was a predictable outcome of a system designed for a different world. Wangchuk graduated with an engineering degree in 1987 and returned home to Ladakh. He decided to apply a technical, problem-solving mindset to fix the broken educational pipeline. His first prototype was the Students' Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, founded in 1988. Instead of targeting high achievers, the program specifically enrolled the 95% who had failed their board exams, giving them bridge courses and life skills rooted entirely in their native context. This diagram illustrates how the model scaled in 1994 through Operation New Hope. Instead of a single central authority, the system decentralized into a three-way partnership. Civil society groups and the government helped rewrite textbooks to reflect Ladakhi culture, while local village education committees took direct ownership of their schools. This curiosity-driven, highly practical approach to learning resonated widely. It directly inspired the character Phunksuk Wangdu in the massive Bollywood hit film 3 Idiots. By treating education like an engineering problem, Wangchuk identified the bottleneck, the imported language and context, and built a local fix. He proved that indigenous context creates true local empowerment. That same iterative logic soon met a much larger threat. Climate change was shrinking the natural glaciers that Ladakhi farmers rely on for vital spring meltwater to sow their crops. The standard external solution to water scarcity often involves pouring massive, destructive concrete dams. Wangchuk went the opposite route, designing a localized biomimetic invention known as the Ice Stupa. Here is how the mechanics work. Winter runoff is piped down a mountain slope, building natural pressure. When it erupts into the sub-zero air, it freezes instantly. By forming a geometric cone, it minimizes the surface area exposed to the sun, allowing it to melt slowly and release water exactly when farmers need it in the spring. He applied this same principle of working with the extreme environment to build his educational campus. Using passive solar earthen architecture, the campus captures and stores heat, requiring absolutely zero fossil fuels to keep students warm through sub-zero Himalayan winters. True technological innovation in a fragile ecosystem doesn't require imposing heavy industrial infrastructure. It requires elegantly harnessing the natural elements that are already there. By the 2020s, a new systemic roadblock emerged: unchecked external industrialization. Mega hydropower and massive solar proposals threatened to tear through Ladakh's fragile ecology. This industrial pressure revealed a limit to mechanical solutions. Even the most efficient solar campus or irrigation system remains vulnerable if the legal authority to protect the land itself sits in a distant office, disconnected from the local impact. He turned to a specific legal provision, the 6th Schedule of the Indian Constitution. As shown in this graphic, this legal mechanism grants tribal areas autonomy over their own local governance, land, and natural resources. To secure this autonomy, Wangchuk pivoted from mechanical engineering to social engineering. He organized massive climate fasts in freezing winter conditions, rallying an estimated 60,000 Ladakhis to demand constitutional protection. Technological resilience means nothing without legal resilience. To protect the region's water and land, the movement had to evolve to protect local law. In September 2024, Wangchuk led the Delhi Chalo Padayatra, a peaceful foot march from Leh aiming for the national capital to demand statehood. They were intercepted at the border by heavily armed police and barricades. He responded with indefinite hunger strikes, applying strict Gandhian principles of nonviolence. By placing his own body on the line, he converted immense physical vulnerability into undeniable political strength, generating leverage on a national scale. This intense pressure forced concrete systemic gains. Ladakh saw its scheduled tribe reservation jump from 45 to 84%, secured one-third reservation for women in local councils, and won official recognition for native languages like Boti and Porgi. His framework has earned deep global recognition, including the Ramon Magsaysay Award for his decades of community leadership. Sonam Wangchuk's work demonstrates that environmental survival in the Himalayas depends on more than just clever irrigation. It requires shifting the power of decision-making to the people who actually live in the environment they are trying to protect.